Eloy is a connected and autonomous vehicle software business. We focus on a niche area called multi-vehicle coordination. Today, Eloy and SRL did a joint demonstration together how you can have the physical infrastructure that SRL provides on the road network, such as temporary traffic signals, as well as Eloy's software, which is a digital solution, and you wanted it to work together to improve the road network. The aim of today is working out how we can deliver those roads leading up to those big public events and festivals. Think of Glastonbury or Silverstone or football matches across the globe. And what you need is an in-vehicle digital service, but that needs to work with physical infrastructure. You need to work in that blended service to improve the road.
What we wanted to do today was actually start showing how it could work with specific use cases for private companies. So rather than showing people a bunch of PowerPoint slides, which are really boring and dull, is actually show people how this would work in the real world. We have tested being able to coordinate 20 vehicles together, and how that worked, we had 10 vehicles driving in one direction around a mile-long track and 10 vehicles driving the other. And there were 4 sections on the track that we coned off to represent narrow sections of road where it's not wide enough for 2 vehicles to pass each other comfortably. What we wanted to show is that by having app interventions telling drivers where to stop or proceed depending on where they were in the narrow section, we could actually help reduce lap times.
Please proceed with caution.
SRL helped us with 2 things today, one which was the cycling of traffic lights and managing cars as they actually moved around the track. The other thing that we did was more of a sort of technical integration where we had messages going into their physical signs, which was telling drivers when to follow app instructions or when the app wasn't working. And the same messages were being displayed in vehicles. So that was to show that the technology could actually work in a car or it could work outside the car as well.
With the app running, there's really good coordination. There's low risk of drivers meeting head-on in those narrow sections, and the traffic runs really smoothly. We want to then compare it to a base case.
We're just about to turn the app off, so the drivers won't be able to get any messages in the car, and hopefully what we'll see then is a lot of chaos, hopefully.
So what we do is we turn off the software, and almost instantly you see traffic jams forming because drivers don't coordinate at all, and you have potential safety risks of them meeting if they were going at higher speeds. The testing today at UTAC Millbrook went really well. I think first of all the technology works, which always you're nervous about it when you've got guests coming. And so as we look through the data, we will see those faster lap times when the app's running. When the software isn't running, those traffic jams forms. We can see that from today, and we're going to get that sort of percentage benefit.
Please wait at the next passing place.
The demonstrations today, and particularly sharing the technology with guests, show us that there's deep interest in this.
So have you found using the app?
As soon as they saw what was happening, as soon as you explained to them how the app was working, they understood, why we were doing this. And I think then they really started to think about the use cases that were applicable for them.
It was really great to be able to kind of see this in action. It seemed to make the driving experience a lot smoother when the app was running than when it wasn't, certainly.
With the controlling of traffic, that's a key part of making events work effectively. Being able to get that information directly to the driver rather than having to focus on something external to the vehicle or as well as is really, really key. And be able to push messages to drivers, information messages about an incident ahead or something like that. Again, I think that'll play a huge role.
And it's all about now the challenges of getting it from these demonstration pilots up into staged progression towards mass deployment. We had great discussions with our guests today about how we can work together to make traffic for events better. Events and festivals are a really good first use case and first way to deployment because you can have quite a captured audience. You can encourage people to use software to get to an event. For example, access to parking or access to the event itself. One of the problems with coordination is you need critical mass. How do you get there? And events themselves are really, really effective. And then once we can see you can improve the traffic flow and improve the safety, that then helps you to translate that across to other activities.
We're one of the first in the UK who are doing this kind of thing. I think it's really important that we can start thinking about how this can have an impact on people who drive, but also pedestrians, vulnerable road users, and helping them just have a better life, less pollution, more productivity, and just a more enjoyable experience of not being stuck in traffic for hours at a time.